Hello, amazing parents. Dr. G here, your go-to board-certified pediatrician, ready to inform and keep you in the know. Welcome back to Dr. G Pediatrics. Today, we're uncovering the truth about red dye number 3 and how it might affect your children. Let's just say Dr. G had to go through her pantry and remove a few items. Stay tuned for some eye-opening information and tips to keep your little ones safe and healthy. Let's dive right in. So what's the issue? Red dye number 3, also known as erythrocene, is an artificial food coloring found in many products like candies, cake icing, and even some medications. It's approved by the FDA, but there's growing concern about its safety, especially in children. In fact, the state of California has even attempted to ban its use due to safety concerns. Now, as a parent, it is essential to be informed about the ingredients in the food and medications your children consume. That's why today we'll delve deeper into the potential impacts of red dye number 3 on our little ones, exploring recent research and discussing how you can make informed choices for your family. To give you a better understanding of the situation, the FDA initially had concerns about the safety of red dye number 3 back in the 1990s. I know. However, it is still permitted in limited amounts in specific food products. Despite the FDA's decision, the debate surrounding red dye number 3 has continued, with some experts and organizations arguing for stricter regulations or a complete ban. Now let's take a closer look at the potential effects of red dye number 3 on children and the reasons behind these growing concerns. There are several potential impacts of red dye number 3 on children's health, and I'm going to break them down for you. Number 1, hyperactivity. Studies suggest that artificial food dyes, including red dye number 3, may increase hyperactivity in some children, particularly those with ADHD. This can worsen existing symptoms, making it harder for them to focus and manage their behavior. Now, it is important to point out that many items that contain red dye number 3 also contains high contents of sugar. Therefore, it is challenging to tease out if these symptoms are solely due to red dye number 3 or a combined effect from sugar and red dye number 3. Nonetheless, the connection between artificial dyes and hyperactivity has led to some countries, like the UK, to phase out the use of these dyes in food products. Number 2, potential cancer risk. I know. Animal studies have found a link between red dye number 3 and thyroid cancer. While human studies are limited, it's important to be aware of the potential risk. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, the IARC, classifies red number 3 as a possible human carcinogen. And as a reminder, our carcinogen is a substance capable of causing cancer. This classification has prompted some experts to call for further research and stricter regulations. Number 3, hormonal imbalance. Some research suggests that red dye number 3 may interfere with hormone function, specifically the thyroid hormone. This can lead to imbalances that can affect growth, metabolism, and overall health. It's important to note that individual reactions to red dye number 3 can vary, and not every child will experience these issues. However, being informed about the potential risk is key to making the best decisions for your family. So, how can we reduce exposure? That's pretty important. So let's talk about how we can do this and reduce your children's exposure to red dye number 3. Number 1, you want to read labels. Check food labels for red dye number 3, or it may be listed as erythrocene, so you can identify and avoid containing this additive. Number 2, choose natural alternatives. Opt for foods with natural colorings like beet juice or turmeric, which are safer than artificial dyes. Many companies have started to actually use these natural alternatives in response to consumer concerns. Number 3, prioritize whole foods. Incorporate more whole, unprocessed foods into your child's diet. These are less likely to contain artificial additives and offer numerous health benefits. Number 4, discuss medications with your child's doctor. If your child takes medication containing red dye number 3, think red medicine, talk to your pediatrician about alternative options that don't have this additive. Many pharmaceutical companies now offer dye-free versions of their medications to accommodate patient concerns and or allergies. So what's the bigger picture? It's essential to remember that red dye number 3 is just one factor when it comes to your child's health. You want to encourage a balanced diet, regular exercise, and adequate sleep because these are all crucial for their overall well-being. Also, the overall effect of red dye number 3 on children's health is not fully understood and more research is needed. However, being cautious and limiting exposure is a reasonable approach given the potential risk. I'm avoiding it. That's a wrap for today's episodes, dear parents. If you found this information helpful, please just give this video a thumbs up and share it with your fellow parents. Don't forget to subscribe to Dr. G Pediatrics. Let's get to 1,000 subs. We can do this. All right. Bye.